Mr. Cullum says his fiancée refuses to commit because she wants to be a rock star. But he thinks there's a lot more to it than that. Today on Divorce Court.
All rise. The Honorable Judge Starr presiding.
Hello, everyone. You may be seated.
Your Honor, this is the case of Cullum v. Dillard.
Thank you very much, Mr. Cullum and Ms. Dillard. We're glad to have you here in Divorce Court, and thank you all very much for joining us today. This is a couple who is in the second phase of their lives, and they're trying to determine whether or not they're going to spend that next phase together. Mr. Cullum, as I understand it, you've been together for 9 years. You've been engaged for 3 years. You do not share children, but our defendant has 3 adult children from previous relationship. But, Mr. Cullum, why are we in divorce court?
Well, Your Honor, the reason why we're here is I love this woman very much, but I think she might be having a midlife crisis. There's even possibly that she's cheating. I just don't think she's committed to me.
So you want to find out if you are putting all your eggs in one basket and if that basket's going to accompany you on the rest of your life.
That's correct.
Yes, sir. Ms. Dillard, what do you say to Mr. Cullum's questions?
Well, I'm here today to reassure Mr. Cullum that our love is real and that I'm in it for the long haul and that we can get through this.
So let's see if we can get through this, because Mr. Cullum seems to be pretty emotional because his heart is literally on the line. Mr. Cullum, why don't you take me back a little bit to when you first met and what led us to get to this point, sir?
Our story starts off where I was a soldier in the Army, and I was preparing for deployment, and I had broken my phone.
So you served in the armed forces?
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to thank you for your service on behalf of a grateful nation.
I was preparing for deployment, and I had broken my phone, and I walked into the phone store, and Laura was standing, big smile, beautiful eyes, super helpful. Normally it takes 5 to 7 business days. She had my phone overnighted for me, and I was ready to go.
That's called good customer service.
Yes.
And that customer service turned into a relationship, I see.
It did. It did.
So where were you living at the time, sir? What state?
Oklahoma.
Okay. I understand, though, that as you were in the armed forces, there was some trauma.
That is correct. I do suffer from PTSD.
What role did Ms. Dillard play in all of that?
She's always been very accepting of me, no matter what our role was, whether it was, just friends. She basically helped me come out of my shell by, for both of us, for a love of music, and not be so scared to be in big crowds, and find my love for music again myself.
Ms. Dillard, what was going on during this dating period where Mr. Cullum admittedly was having some real emotional issues?
In the whole time that I've known him, he has had issues where that's concerned with regards to his prior deployments. And through love of music, we were able to go out to karaoke and have fun times, take trips, have fun, and not dwell on some of the issues that he's had.
I understand, sir, there was a hospitalization also.
Yes, ma'am. I had a freak accident. I fell, and I had a metal rod go through the left side of my neck.
So what role did Ms. Dillard play during this time period?
Well, to be truthful, Your Honor, she didn't come and see me at all.
How long were you in the hospital?
A little over a week.
I was not able to be there because of previous incidents that happened with my dad. My dad had a really big stroke, and I used all my, we did FaceTime every day, and I checked on him.
I will say that, she did contact me by FaceTime, but that just wasn't enough.
Okay.
I just don't feel like she's committed to this relationship.
Because that's just one instance, because as I understand it, your fiancé had committed to relocating, am I correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Why don't you walk me through that, sir?
So the reason why I feel like she's not ready to commit is because I offered to basically look at costs of U-Hauls, have a moving company actually come to her. I offered to pay for it so it would come at no cost for her.
And where were you expecting her to move from where to where?
At that time, she was going to be going from Alabama to where I currently reside in Illinois.
Okay. That's a big move.
It is.
And she made a commitment to do that.
Yeah, she told me that she had gotten another job.
Ms. Dillard, why don't you help me to understand from your perspective what was going on? According to Mr. Cullum, he was expecting you to make a pretty big move.
Yes, ma'am. I had every intention of moving to Illinois, but I incurred a lot of medical bills because of a health issue. And I was recruited to a major manufacturer with a pretty hefty bonus to move that would allow me to come into the relationship without the burden of all of these bills.
So you were going to try to come into the relationship as debt-free as you could.
Yes, ma'am.
So it was a pretty significant job, a great opportunity, and it was a way to get out of debt. Am I correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you explain that to Mr. Cullum?
I did.
Mr. Cullum, you knew about this opportunity, sir?
That came later. Laura is she's a phenomenal singer. She's in a band. On top of that, I found other venues that were local to me.
In Illinois?
Yes, ma'am.
That would provide her the opportunity to work on her music
That's correct.
and perform.
That's correct.
What's going on in your life that you're embracing this as a new part of your career? Because from what I understand, you work in customer service and communication and telecommunication, and clearly you're good at that. So
Thank you.
What's going on?
Yes, so I really need to take a moment, and I may get emotional. I have to preface this by saying,
I truly do love this woman right here very much
But
so.
why do you think she's cheating?
We were supposed to be planning a trip to South Carolina, and she told me that she couldn't. And there's a strange message from a gentleman named Gary saying, "Are you still coming to South Carolina?"
I had cancer as a teenager.
Oh, my goodness.
I was diagnosed when I was 15 with Hodgkin's lymphoma, and I took radiation and chemo throughout my teenage years.
I know a little something about blood-borne cancers. I serve on a national charity in that regard. That's a struggle.
It
and
is.
I am so happy to see you survive.
Thank you. I actually, I will actually celebrate 40 years cancer-free in May.
Look at God. And that's a wonderful thing.
So, and I bring up that point because I spent all of my teenage years taking treatments. I wasn't supposed to have children, but I did have children in my first marriage, and then I was raising children. So after high school and college, I never really got to explore what
Ms.
some
Dillard, just
feel
go
is my
ahead and
talent.
say this is your time right now. Your kids are grown. You are healthy.
Yeah.
You look hot in some jeans and a tight shirt. You want to embrace your full personhood. That's what you're doing.
I do. I'm not trying to make it big. I'm not trying to be discovered. I'm just trying to have a good time. And I feel like after my cancer diagnosis, I saw the world in a different way. You have to embrace life, and you can't ever give up on your dreams.
I 100% agree with you. 100%. Mr. Cullum, that seems like somebody that would be a really wonderful person to spend this second part of your life with.
It is. I truly do love this woman right here very much
But
so.
why do you think she's cheating?
We were supposed to be planning a trip ourselves to South Carolina, and she told me that she couldn't. And there's a strange message from a gentleman named Gary saying, "Are you still coming to South Carolina?"
Oh, so it made you feel like she was making a plan outside of you.
Exactly.
Did you and Ms. Dillard talk about this text?
You know, with my PTSD, it was one of those things where I kind of swept it under the rug. But that wasn't the only thing that basically kind of led me to where we are today. Again, trying to keep our relationship spicy and together, I had driven 8 hours all the way from Illinois down to Alabama to surprise her for her birthday. When I get there to the apartment complex, I see her vehicles in the parking lot, go up to her door. I knocked on her door, no answer. So I was like, okay, well, maybe she's in the back. So I called her on the phone. She sends me straight to voicemail. And I basically left the apartment complex and I was like, all right, well, you know, maybe she went to go get her hair done or her nails done. I was like, that takes a couple hours. I called her about 5 times over that next 4 hours.
She did not respond?
No, ma'am, not at the time I was there. So I just went ahead and went home.
Wait a minute. That's a lot of driving.
Yeah.
Miss Dillard, did you know he was coming?
I didn't.
Where were you?
We had talked about my birthday ahead of time, about making plans and maybe getting together for my birthday, but we didn't finalize anything. In the interim, because of the nature of my business, I can be called in at any time. I was called in, I was at work, I can't have my phone, so that's why I didn't answer. I didn't have my car because a random accident happened. I was following someone and something fell off a truck and hit the side of my car. I didn't think it was that bad at first, but then my engine light started coming on.
You never told me that you were involved in an accident.
I didn't think anything of it because it doesn't appear to be that bad, but then my light came on of my car, so I actually had a coworker pick me up that day.
So you were at work?
I was.
If she has been cheating, we're done, we're through.
Have you had sexual intercourse with any man besides Mr. Cullum? What was Ms. Dillard's answer?
Ms. Dillard's answer was no.
And what did the test results indicate?
The polygraph results indicated
Now, here's my question. Mr. Cullum, you drove all that long way. Why didn't you just check in to the Hampton Inn, wait for the free breakfast the next day, and hook up?
Well, both Laura and I, we have jobs that our time is limited, and so that was my scheduled day off as well. I had to get back to work myself.
So you were going to turn right around and go back anyway?
Well, after spending our time together, we were going to finalize what we were going to do for her birthday.
So in other words, you were only coming down to have an in-person conversation about her birthday, and then you were going to drive right back?
Yes.
That was a whole lot.
Yeah, I mean, it was sweet of him to come all that way, though, just for my birthday.
I don't hear cheating, but you're wondering if suspicious behavior has led to suspicious actions. Is that what it is?
Yes, ma'am. I was going to say, I'm here basically to get those answers because I want to see if she has been cheating. Because for me, if she has been cheating, we're done. We're through.
And Ms. Dillard, is there anything that you want to say before we actually get the results of a polygraph examination, which you willingly decided to take?
Yeah.
Why did you decide to take it?
Well, I feel like a relationship can only survive if there's honesty, and I needed to be honest. I will say that I have not slept with anyone else, but I will say that I have had company with another person before. It's a lot of stress between my working nights and the band and everything, and I come in contact with a lot of people. So, you know, have had conversations with other men, but I'm here today to say that I'm done with that. We need to figure it out, and I think we can get through this.
So why don't we ask Mr. Yarborough to join us, and I think it'll answer some of the questions that Mr. Cullum has. Will you ask Mr. Yarborough to join us, please?
Sir.
Mr. Yarborough, welcome back to Divorce Court.
good day.
Mr. Yarborough, will you please tell the court what your background is in terms of being a polygraph examiner?
Absolutely. I'm a certified polygraph examiner. I'm a member of the American Polygraph Association. I've done hundreds of polygraph for law enforcement and other public safety agencies, as well as professional and private polygraphs.
And so I completely qualify you as an expert to provide services to this court. And Mr. Yarborough, we asked you to sit with Ms. Dillard and ask her a couple of questions so that Mr. Cullum could get some answers that he's been asking for. We asked Ms. Dillard, were you actually at work the day Mr. Cullum visited you for your birthday. Is that correct?
That is correct, Your ma'am.
And what was Ms. Dillard's answer?
Ms. Dillard answered yes.
And what did the results indicate?
The polygraph results indicated that there was no deception to
So
that
she told the
question.
truth.
That's true.
Ms. Yarborough, we also asked Ms. Dillard, since the beginning of your relationship with Mr. Cullum, have you had sexual intercourse or sexual contact with any man besides Mr. Cullum? Is that correct?
That is correct.
Very specific question. What was Ms. Dillard's answer?
Ms. Dillard's answer was no.
And what did the test results indicate?
The polygraph results indicated there was deception indicated to that question.
So, Ms. Dillard,
I have had company with another person and did kiss someone. I didn't have sexual relations, but I do feel guilty about that.
so the
May I interject, please?
Of course.
Can I go? I got my answers. I don't need anything else.
Mr. Cullum, there's nothing else that you want to ask?
No, I just like to leave. As I say,
I just feel like we can work this out. What we have is special and it's once in a lifetime, and we don't need to throw that away for just loneliness. I feel like we should work it out and one of us needs to move. It's just not worth it. I can get another job,
Ms. Dillard?
but I can't get another you.
Ms. Dillard, Mr. Cullum did try to get you to move. He made all the arrangements. And he sort of jumped through hoops.
Yep. Now, after April, I will not be committed to that job anymore. So if he's unwilling to move to where I'm at, even though I do make more than he does, but it's not about money. If he's unwilling to move where I'm at, then I will move where he's at, and we'll just figure it out.
Mr. Cullum, you said that you wanted to leave. I understand that your heart is broken.
it is. But let's just leave it as is, and we'll just, instead of us being apart, let's move in together and carry on our lives and get married.
Mr. Cullum, are you really ready to do that? Like, literally 120 seconds ago, you said it's done. I got my answers, I'm done. That was your initial reaction.
Yeah.
It can take years to build trust and less than 5 minutes to break it. Mr. Yarborough, thank you so very much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Appreciate your services. Mr. Cullum, you've brought your whole heart to this relationship, and I believe Ms. Dillard when she says she's ready to make more of a commitment. But is it what you want? As I think with two people at this stage in your life, you both should get what you want. Is this what you want?
It is, Your Honor. I believe everybody deserves second chances. I got the answer that I wanted. It might not have been what I liked, but like and love are totally different, and I love this woman, and I don't see my life without her in it. And so I'm willing to accept that and just basically let us move forward from here.
Ms. Dillard, you've got somebody who really wants to give this relationship a shot.
Yes, ma'am.
You had a second chance with health. You're getting a second chance with heart. I wish you both the best. My brother.
I really think that we can work through this. I'm ready. I'm ready
Me
to.
too.
Let's do this. Let's go ahead and bury the hatchet, and let's not hold back anyone. I think it's going to be great.
I'm all in.
Are you? Yeah.